Hey everybody, it's Miss Garavelli coming at you live from the classroom. I just wanted to give you a quick little mini lesson about types of conflict because that is the next big literature skill that we're going to be talking about, and it goes hand in hand with plot because your plot is always going to be centered around your conflict. So conflict, you're going to get this packet tomorrow. Conflict is the struggle between opposing forces, so it's like the problem in the story. And you have two main types of conflict. You have internal conflict and you have external conflict. So, internal conflict is the struggle within a character's mind. Think about internal, inside. So, all of you deal with millions of different internal conflicts probably throughout each and every day. So, like, am I going to go talk to this person? Am I going to do my homework? Am I going to listen in class? What should I do this weekend? How am I going to explain this to my friend? Like all those different things that you're trying to figure out within yourself, like what decision to make, that's an internal conflict. Okay. Now, external conflict, think about exterior of the house. That's going to be the outside. So, external conflict is going to be a clash between a character and an outside force. And we have three different types of external conflict, and let me get to it. Okay, don't want to sign up for this. They are character versus character, character versus nature, and character versus society. So the character is going to be like that main character in the story. So character versus character would be the main character versus another character in the story. So that's really like that happens a lot in most like realistic fiction stories, just fiction in general, because you have like maybe a good guy and a bad guy. A lot of times you have a character fighting with another character. So that would be character versus character. Character versus nature or force of nature. That's going to be if you have a character that is maybe dealing with like a natural disaster. So, like any kind of movie, show, or story, when like a character is maybe trapped on a deserted island or in a snowstorm, there's a tornado or a hurricane or a fire, all those different things going to be character versus nature or force of nature. Character versus society is when like that main character is maybe rebelling against like what most people think is the right thing to do. I always use the example of the Hunger Games. So in the Hunger Games, she goes against the Capitol, that's what it's called, and is not okay with the Hunger Games and wants to make it stop, and does all these things that she's not supposed to do. So she's going against society. So character versus society. Now I want to show you guys just a couple of examples to see if that makes sense. So if you look right here at this screen, it says blank conflict takes place blank the body. It is a conflict between the character and an outside force. So external conflict takes place, I guess you could say, outside of the body. So it's not anything that's within yourself. It's something that you're dealing with an outside force. Internal conflict takes place inside the character, and it's a struggle within the character. And this first one, a conflict that occurs between a character and another character, is character versus character. A conflict between a character and a massive epic snowstorm, that will be character versus force of nature. A conflict between a character and the government and laws in which they live will be considered character versus society. Remember, that's going to be like a large group. A conflict between a character and a decision that a character has to make, that is internal conflict. So that is called character versus self, okay? Because that's yourself. And then let's just look at a couple of these examples and talk about them before this cuts me off. Sherry is upset with herself because she got a D in English. Sherry should be upset because she should not be getting a D in English. So what type of conflict do you think that's going to be? It's going to be internal conflict. She's upset with herself. So it's internal, okay? A student sees an iPad in the library and she thinks about stealing it. Okay, so if she's just thinking about it, that is still what? Internal conflict, character versus self. Let's find another one that's not that. Okay, let's see. Katie and her mom don't agree on where to have the party. So since it's Katie and mom, those are two different characters. So I automatically know it's not internal. It's not character versus self. I know it's external. So I've got to decide, is it character versus character, character versus force of nature, or character versus society? It is going to be character versus character because you have